Hello, guys. Thank you very much for joining in. Hi, this is Ganesh Nayak. I help finance professionals and students to excel in their career and become a better version of themselves. And I also help students who are preparing for the FRM and the CFA exam. Now, I'm back with one of my students' interview, Tushar. He has been able to clear the FRM Level 1 in the November 2022 attempt. And we're going to be talking to him about his journey, of his way of preparation, what challenges he faced, and how he was able to clear the exam. Also, what has been the motive of doing all of these interviews is that a lot of people who prepare on their own, they're working professionals, they don't get active guidance. So these videos should ideally help them to understand how other people are clearing the exam. So with this, let us start with the discussion. Tushar, first of all, thank you very much for taking out time and talking to us. And this you have got around all four 111 quartile in this November
Yes,
2022
sir.
exam. So, for the benefit of the audience, let us start with when you started your preparation. What were you doing at that point in time?
So first of all, as you all know, my name is Tushar B, and I am currently pursuing my MBA from Doon Business School. So I started preparing for the FRM Level 1 exam in mid of May, and my first approach was like I wanted to self-study for the exam. So I
Mhm.
started with a few chapters from book 2 and book 3, which were the basic chapters related to statistics and the financial products. But as the concept got, very complicated, I, went on YouTube and searched for some videos regarding that content, and I came across your course, sir, the crash course that you have uploaded on
Right.
YouTube, which was a very helpful. So then I had a talk with my father. He told me, and we also discussed that, coaching and guidance is very important if I want to clear the exam with, very easily or and prepare for the exam. So I, had a talk with few of the coaches, but I found that Ganesh sir was my favorite one, and also I had seen his videos. So like, yeah, so I
Okay.
enrolled with him,
You joined
and
us.
from
Okay.
around yeah, and from
Mhm.
5th of June I enrolled for the Fintelligents live course program. And the way I prepared for the exam is that I had completely followed the Excel tracker given by sir. And my first motive was to complete the reading of the exam till like September or mid-September. That's how I went, with the first reading of the exam.
Right. And then
Yeah.
did you solve started solving also simultaneously question bank or
So with the reading, I was not very much focused on solving the questions. My main focus was on understanding the concept first. After my first reading was done, I started solving the chapter-wise question banks.
Mhm.
And my approach there was that when I'm doing a second round of revision, I only focused on those chapters which were, very difficult for me to understand in the first round. Like if we talk about the book two, in which time series chapter or regression chapters, which were which very required some revision, and in the book 4 some
Mhm.
revision was required. So I solved the questions, the concepts which I found difficult, I revised it again from the videos.
Got it. And how many hours you were dedicating every single day to prepare? And this was along with your
uh,
college, is it?
yes sir, yes sir, it's along with my regular classes. So I had my classes till 5 p.m, and after that when I came back home I took a break for some while. Then I had an habit to sit for around 2 or 3 hours every day.
Got it.
And
Got it.
obviously I was not very much consistent. Like if I'm speaking like in a whole week, I would have studied for 4 or 5 days. 1 or 2 days would have gone somewhere in some activity or
Got it.
something else.
Got it.
Yeah,
And that is how basically the entire thing continued till
yeah,
September.
till
Okay.
mid of
When did
September I
you,
was able to, yeah,
sorry, yeah,
I was
sorry,
able
sorry,
to
please.
complete first reading. Yeah,
Then you started question bank. Okay.
yeah, I started with question banks.
So on an average,
Yeah,
every single day, how many chapters of question bank you were able to complete?
I was able to complete 2 or 3 chapters per day, two
Yeah.
three
Okay.
and some
And,
small chapters like 4 or 5 I would have done easily.
okay. And when did you complete the entire question bank solving, chapter wise question?
So till mid of October, I was able to complete the chapter-wise question banks. Then my main focus was on my weak topics, which I was, not very much confident in, plus doing the mock papers,
Okay. So weak
full
areas,
length
you
mock
did one more
papers.
full revision of the content.
Yeah.
And then you
Yeah.
started mocks when? Which date around
Ye-
about?
Yes.
When did you
Around
started
20th
mock?
of October. Around 20th of October.
Okay. And your
So
exam
my
date
paper
was?
was on 10th of November. So I had 20 days, before 20 days, I started doing mock tests.
Got it. Got it. Okay.
Yeah.
When you were solving mock, did you solve all the four mocks which are provided by us?
Yes, sir.
Okay, and the GARP sample?
I have solved 3 years back sample paper. In the GAP sample paper, most of the questions were repeat. So
Hmm.
I just found which questions were different and I practiced them.
And Swedger question bank, the practice paper by any chance?
No, I have not done
Okay.
that.
Okay. And then when you were doing all of these things, what was the average score you were getting in the mock papers?
So the first mock I gave, my score was around 60. Then as I gave more and more papers, the my highest score was around 72 in
Okay.
the mock exams.
And when you were preparing, which book you felt, okay, this might create problem for me?
So I believe that some topics in book four were very problematic for me. Other than that, I was very comfortable in each book.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
And then you went for the exam. What
Hmm.
happened in that exam? So when you started solving, first 1 hour, what happened?
So as we had a discussion regarding this also, that sir had taken a session on how to go about the exam. So I was prepared that the exam is designed in such a way that it plays with the psychology of the student. Like they give very difficult questions in the starting of the exam so that the student, loses focus or gets, demotivated to continue exam.
Right.
So I was with the mindset that whatever happens, I have to give all the questions with my full focus. So I
Okay.
completed my first round of questions in around 2 hours, and I was able to attempt around 60 questions with
Okay.
good conviction. Then for the next 2 hours, I went back to these questions which I had left, which I had marked for review. Then
Mhm.
I was able to do around 10-20 questions. Like in some questions, I was confused between two options, in some questions between three options. So as there is no negative marking, my goal was to attempt all of the questions. Till
Barabar.
by the end of 4 hours, yes, I was able to attempt all the questions.
So you went first for completed everything. You know, realized 60
Yeah,
I've done. And again, you
60
did
I've done, yes, sir.
all the remaining, you were able to
Yeah,
do 10, 20 more.
yeah,
Then you again did the
yes, sir.
third one. Okay.
Third round, yes, sir.
Okay. And during the exam, when the exam was conducted, any challenge that you faced in terms of infrastructure in the exam center? कुछ ऐसा
No,
problem
no,
हुआ?
no, sir. Actually,
Everything was smooth.
in my slot only I was there, so there was no other student that was there in the exam, and
अच्छा.
the coordinator present there was very cooperative and very helpful. Plus, I did not face any technical issues during my
Okay.
center
Okay. Perfect.
during my
Now,
exam.
when you came out
Yeah.
of the exam, was there any number in your mind that, okay, I will get this much?
So when I came out of the exam, I expected that my paper would have gone much better, because the questions were designed in such a way that they were very tricky and very difficult to know what is the correct answer.
Got it.
But I was confident that I would pass the exam. My goal was to secure 1111. I was confident that I would pass the exam. The exam went good, but I was not confident whether I would score a good number or not.
Okay. And now when the quartiles are out,
Yes,
your
sir.
111 in all of them,
Yes, sir.
what has been the feedback of people around you?
They were, very supportive during my preparation time. My family was very supportive during my prep time. And, they were very happy when I achieved that milestone. And even in the first attempt. And it requires very hard work and preparation to clear
Yes.
this exam. Yes, sir. And it's
Especially in
been a
first
very,
quartile, it is very, very tough. Definitely.
yeah. And it's been a very rewarding journey. Like I have learned a lot from this curriculum, I would say.
Wow. Okay. And now, if suppose somebody asks you, what are the 3 tips you can share
Hmm.
with respect to how to prepare for the exam? What would that be?
So the first step would be like that do not think of FRM as an exam. We should learn a lot from it. We should know how the nitty-gritties of the risk industry is, how risk works in it. Because the paper is designed in such a way that they do not test your capability of remembering the concepts of formulas. The exam is
Hmm.
designed in such a way that they want to check your understanding, how you are able to put the theory into practical context. The second tip would be don't stress too much, because most of us think that the paper would be very difficult or our concepts would get very fuzzy on the day of exam. But when
Right.
you go give exam, when you give your mock test, if you're prepared enough, then it is a very, it becomes very easy to clear the exam. And the
Got
third
it.
tip would be focus, yeah, till the end of the exam, focus more and more on questions rather than on reading the concepts. Because like in book two or in book three, if we focus more and more on formulas and cons part of it, we would get very stuck कि मेरे को formula याद नहीं हो
Hmm.
रहा है. But if you
Hmm.
start doing the questions, you would say that it's, question solving helps a lot in solving the paper. Yeah.
Okay. So you solved almost all of our question bank full.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay. And when in the exam, how many theory and how many calculation based questions were there for you?
I got around 70% theory and 30% quantitative. And the quant part was very, manageable. It was very easy. Like around 20 questions were straight plug and play formulas. So it was very easy. Only
Okay.
10 questions were there, which were tricky, the quants part.
Okay. And how many questions you felt out of that 70 theory question that,
Mm.
okay,
Yeah.
you're not sure on the option? Two options are getting confused.
Around 15 to 20 questions, I was confused between the options. Yeah.
Okay. Perfect. Perfect. Wonderful.
Mm.
Tushar, I mean, this conversation is going to be really helpful for a lot of students to
Yes, sir.
plan their preparation and see that there are people who have started out in June and still able to clear the
Yes, sir.
exam. So it is not difficult for
Yes.
them to clear also. So a lot of
Yes, sir.
college students will also get motivated by watching your video, and I'm
Mm.
sure you'll clear level two also in the first attempt. There's no doubt about it.
Yes, sir.
So thank you very much for taking out time and talking to us
Yeah.
and sharing your journey. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much, sir.